Hello, everybody. Mr. O here, and welcome to part two of Extreme Faces. This is introducing oil pastel. For many of you, that could be the first time. Now, I'm going to go through what I have. So, of course, I have paper, and the paper I'm actually using is a toothy drawing paper. I didn't get oil pastel paper for this. Toothy drawing paper is great with it. I am using this face, and when I talk about oil pastel, sometimes people refer to them as soft pastels. So there are for argument's sake, I'm just going to call them chalk pastels. There are soft versions of chalk pastels. Usually they're harder. This is oil base. I know I'm saying this wrong. It's just chalk base. A little different than, their compressed media there. Now, the oil pastels I'm going to be using is Portfolio series because this is for wet and dry work. And if I have time in the next few months or even in the next few weeks, maybe I'll just do a quick demonstration of the wet work with these. And I think it's actually an amazing series. It's created by Crayola. It's more of their upper level material, and I do think it's worth it. As you can see, you pull these out and then you slide the trays out. I would just recommend taking both trays out and then setting your box off to the side or closing it up and setting one tray. Try to keep your stuff in the trays because like color pencils and charcoal pencils, if things start hitting the floor, they'll start breaking. You don't really sharpen oil pastels, so watching me rotate angles will keep them if you want to point, and too much pressure will snap them. So they are made to be used and they will just break. So don't sweat if they do break on you. And then on the side here, I'm going to have just kind of like a sketch or an extra piece of paper where I'm going to be cleaning my stylus. Just every time I use black, I might just kind of rub it to get most of it out. I'm not too worried if some of it leaves behind. I do have a ruler, but I won't be using that since I'm not drawing. And then I have basically, since I'm at my studio, I have my rubber tools, my scrapers and blenders. And speaking of blenders, when you do use one of your paper blenders for oil pastel, dedicate them for oil pastels. The same thing with charcoal. I have dedicated ones because the last thing you want is yellow oil pastel getting into your pencil drawing. So make sure you label wherever you store them because it's easy to get confused. And I will show these tools. I have a lesser version of these tools within my classroom at school. They're not as firm. A lot of them are soft, but you get a lot out of it. And then I'm going to show how to use a paper clip. At least I hope I am. I'm getting forgetful in my old age. So starting with the oil pastels, as you can see, I already started with the eye and I started blending, and you can also see that instead of leaving white of the eye, I actually took some of the gray and blend it because eyes cast shadow. If you want to start making things look a little realistic, the key with it is starting to add all the colors. Now, am I finished with the eye? Absolutely not, because I'm going to build up some more color. I just may not do that in front of you. I mean, that is the ultimate goal there. And then what I'm going to do is just going to get started on some skin tone. And skin tone, what's nice about these sets, there's just so many variety of beautiful skin tones. The two I'm going to take is going to be the dark brown. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Medium brown. Do we have a dark brown? And then I'm going to get the peach. Okay. Sometimes when we learn, we do the light color and then we put the dark color on first. But there is a technique, and even in color pencil and marker, you can actually do this. But it really works well with oil pastel. Is I'm going to put the dark colors down first. And even though I have all these smudgers and stuff, sometimes the biggest mistake students make, and even adults, is over blending. So I'm going to kind of warn you now. And as you can see, I'm kind of laying like a shadow down the nose. As you can see, I'm not going to do the whole picture in front of you for time's sake. I could put it in time lapse, but I think with oil pastel and introducing it for the first time, you guys are probably going, oops, I should put that back in the box so it doesn't roll off my desk. As you can see, I kind of chunked it up there, but now I'm going to be a little more careful. I'm going to be a little more control. As you can see with me going over, you can see the dark color underneath the light. So that's probably a better way of explaining dark under light. Because do you think I'm going to have everybody's exact skin tone? And because we are made up of so many beautiful blends that I'm going to be mixing. And how to start mixing and how to start creating shadows, I'm going to first start using this, is you can just go in and you can just start blending. Now don't worry, not everything is going to be smooth. We're going to build layers. This is where I probably blend the most. And I'm going to be going back in, don't worry, and I'm going to, I was probably a little loose with my lines, but I'm going to go back in and just start creating shadows. And I'm going to smooth that out. And this is the first time of me using this paper. Each type of paper is a little different. And there is, I see that it's catching up on stuff, so I want to make sure I'm smooth. I don't want all those little circle, so I'm gonna go here, and now I'm gonna go back in. I'm gonna thicken, see how it's now kind of layering. And then if I go in, now it could be with the same brown, or it could be with, what's this one, golden brown, where I just start creating more of those wrinkles. Don't worry if you're not seeing it completely, because this is where eventually where I start kind of using some of the scrapers, because what I'm doing is cleaning up the edges and I'm making some effects that I hope that are starting to show through. Oil pastel is a layered thing. Now, could it be a lot looser than what I'm doing? I am trying to control it too much for your sake in the beginning, because I feel like sometimes when it's too loose, people get very frustrated with it. I'm using my hands to clean the oil pastel, and I should use the, as you can see, the brush. So I should wipe it there. Bad habit of using my hands, and I'll touch something and I have oil pastel on it. It's like the pancake and syrup thing all over again. Okay, so, and like I said, there's different scrapers. They create different effects. As you can see, I can start grooving the eye. And you might have noticed that the eye kind of just stops there, which means I didn't go high enough. I wanted to see how these oil pastels work on this paper. I'm gonna just tell you, I am having a paper problem. My students won't, because I'll have the right paper. I was just trying this out, trying to kill two birds with one stone. I won't tell you where I got this paper, because I don't want you to challenge me and get it and then show me that it was a me problem. No. So as you can see, I'm slowly building up, and this is, now I do want to talk about one thing, and sorry if is the dark. There are dark grays and there's even black. Be careful. Could I go in with a black? As you can see, that's really black. Let's do the dark gray, and I want to show you how doing the wrinkle. Now I'm going to go in. As you can see, you can make it blend, but if you go in with the lighter gray, dark gray, you can see it works a little bit better. So the black, I think, is just too strong when it comes to the wrinkles. And now what happens if you go too dark too fast? Well, you won't be able to just go over. So if you get too dark too fast, you have to be careful, because even the white, oops, as you can see, it broke. And I'm going to just use my finger to kind of use it. So let's just say I want to put a little more highlight in there. You can do that. Be careful of blending back in. You want to be more controlled, okay? And oil pastels are pretty amazing, and I promised you I was going to show you this. So sometimes you can scrape oil pastel just like you would a scraper. You don't always have to go out and buy. You just got to be careful not to dig to the bottom. You won't get too white again because the oil pastel really digs in. And so guys, I hope this makes sense. As you can see, I did put a border. You don't always have to tape everything down. This gives me something I can grab, put on my art shelf, put on a drying rack, and it's ready to go. So I hope that came through, and most importantly, I'm not going to use black. I want to use a bright color. We'll do this magenta. You are never alone. And I will try to finish it. I'm going to misspell alone. Yeah, there I go again. So have a great day, guys. Hope this made sense. Bye-bye.